Do you know that there's one habit, just one, that can completely transform the way you live, think, and achieve? It's simple, yet incredibly powerful. And the best part, it's in your hands every single day. The habit is consistency. Not motivation, not luck, not waiting for the right time. Consistency. Motivation is often misunderstood. People think they need motivation to get started, to push forward, or to make progress in life. They wait for the perfect moment when inspiration hits, when energy is high, when everything feels aligned. But the truth is, motivation is fleeting. It comes and goes like the wind. Some days you feel motivated, other days you feel drained. If your results depend solely on motivation, you will be trapped in cycles of starting and stopping, hoping for the right mood or emotional state. You might begin with excitement, but soon that excitement fades, leaving you frustrated, guilty, or stuck. The people who achieve extraordinary results are not those who wait for motivation. They are the ones who rely on consistency. Consistency is the habit of showing up, doing the work, and taking action every day, regardless of how you feel. It is the silent force that builds skill, creates momentum, and transforms ordinary efforts into extraordinary outcomes. It doesn't matter if you feel tired, overwhelmed, or uninspired. What matters is that you commit to the process and keep going. Consistency turns small, seemingly insignificant actions into something powerful. Writing one page every day, practicing a skill for 20 minutes, or making one small improvement consistently compounds into results that seem impossible at first. Motivation may get you started, but consistency keeps you moving when motivation disappears. Think about it: athletes, artists, entrepreneurs, and leaders don't rely on motivation alone. They rely on routines, systems, and daily disciplines. The tennis player practices serves in the pouring rain. The writer writes every morning, even when the words feel heavy. The entrepreneur works on their business every single day, even when the initial excitement is gone. Motivation might give them a spark, but it is consistency that allows them to reach mastery, to break through limits, and to achieve results that others dream about. Consistency is the bridge between wanting something and actually achieving it. Consistency also builds confidence and trust in yourself. Every time you show up for your goals, you reinforce the belief that you are capable. Each small action adds evidence that you can rely on yourself, that you can follow through, and that you can face challenges without giving up. Motivation is external. It comes from feelings, circumstances, or other people. Consistency is internal. It comes from your choices, your commitments, and your willingness to act even when it's hard. This shift from relying on fleeting feelings to relying on deliberate action is what separates those who dream from those who do. Another aspect of consistency is that it reduces the power of excuses. When you commit to doing something every day, the question is no longer, do I feel like it? But will I do it today? This simple change in mindset creates discipline and momentum. You begin to take responsibility for your life, your progress, and your results. You learn to trust the process instead of obsessing over instant gratification. Over time, the small actions you repeat consistently accumulate, creating a snowball effect. What seems small today, writing a paragraph, exercising for 10 minutes, learning a new skill, becomes extraordinary months or years later because consistency compounds in ways that motivation alone cannot. Consistency also creates resilience. Life is unpredictable, and motivation alone cannot carry you through setbacks, failures, or challenges. When you rely on consistency, you develop habits that are stronger than mood swings, circumstances, or external validation. You learn to move forward even when it's difficult, when you feel tired, or when the results are not immediately visible. Each day you show up, you reinforce the idea that progress is not about feeling ready or inspired. It's about acting despite how you feel. The power of small daily actions is often underestimated. Many people think that in order to achieve significant results, they need to make huge leaps, take massive risks, or have extraordinary talent. They overlook the fact that real, lasting change rarely comes from sudden bursts of effort or dramatic actions. Instead, it comes from the quiet, consistent choices we make every single day. Each small action, no matter how insignificant it seems at the moment, has the potential to grow and multiply into outcomes far greater than we can imagine. This is the principle of compounding applied to life, and it is one of the most powerful forces behind success. Every action we take creates momentum. Writing one paragraph today, exercising for 10 minutes, saving a small amount of money, or practicing a skill for a short period may seem minimal. But the accumulation of these actions over weeks, months, and years creates exponential growth. The key is repetition. When you repeat a small, positive action daily, it becomes a habit. That habit then becomes part of your identity. Before you realize it, the effort that once felt small and inconsequential has transformed your abilities, your confidence, and your opportunities. The compounding effect is not immediate, it is invisible at first. But with patience and consistency, the results begin to appear, often surpassing what you initially thought possible. Consider how compounding works in everyday life. Just like money grows over time with interest, your skills, habits, and knowledge grow with consistent effort. Reading 10 pages a day may not seem like much, but in a year, you will have read thousands of pages, absorbing insights, ideas, and knowledge that shape your thinking and decisions. Practicing a new skill for a few minutes every day may feel slow, but in months, your ability will improve far beyond what sporadic, intense bursts of effort could achieve. Saving a small portion of your income regularly may feel minor, but over time it accumulates into financial security, freedom, and options. Compounding is not about speed, it's about persistence and the intelligent accumulation of small, positive choices. One of the most important aspects of small daily actions is that they build confidence. Every day you take a small step toward your goal, you reinforce the belief that progress is possible. These small wins remind you that your efforts matter, that change is achievable, and that you have the power to influence your own life. Even when the results are not immediately visible, the act of showing up consistently strengthens your mindset. You begin to trust yourself, and this trust fuels further action. Motivation may fade, but the compounding effect of consistent action continues to move you forward. Small actions also reduce overwhelm. When we focus solely on massive goals, the scale of the challenge can feel paralyzing. Thinking about the end result often makes people hesitate or give up before they even start. Breaking progress into small, daily actions shifts the focus from the overwhelming, big picture to manageable steps. You no longer need to rely on massive bursts of energy or perfect conditions. Instead, you rely on simple, achievable actions that fit into your daily life. This approach makes progress accessible, sustainable, and ultimately unstoppable. The magic of small daily actions is that they create a ripple effect. One positive action leads to another. Practicing discipline in one area often spills over into other areas of life. Learning a new skill may inspire creativity elsewhere. Saving money may encourage better planning and decision-making in other aspects. Exercising regularly improves mental clarity, focus, and productivity. Each action compounds not just in isolation but across your entire life, creating growth that accelerates over time. The key is to start and continue, even when results are invisible. Consistency in small actions is the difference between temporary effort and lasting transformation. The impact may be delayed, but compounding ensures that the effects are far-reaching, powerful, and irreversible once momentum builds. Procrastination is one of the greatest obstacles to success, and yet it is something nearly everyone struggles with. We often convince ourselves that waiting for the right time will make things easier or more effective. Tomorrow feels safer, less risky, or more convenient. We tell ourselves, I'll start when I have more energy. I'll begin when I feel ready. Or, I'll take action next week. But the truth is that tomorrow rarely comes the way we imagine it. Life is unpredictable, circumstances change, and the moment we delay action is a moment lost forever. Waiting for perfect conditions is a trap that keeps dreams in the realm of possibility rather than reality. The only way to create real change is to start today, no matter how small or imperfect the action may be. Starting today is about taking control of your life. Every choice you make in this moment shapes your future. By committing to action now, you are declaring that your goals, your dreams, and your ambitions are worth your time and effort. Waiting for motivation, clarity, or permission from external circumstances gives away your power. Every day you delay is a day in which potential growth, progress, and transformation are postponed. Even a single step taken today, however small, has more value than a perfect plan executed tomorrow. The key is to embrace action over hesitation and momentum over indecision. One of the reasons starting today is so powerful is that action breeds clarity. When you take the first step, you gain information, experience, and insight that planning or thinking alone cannot provide. Waiting often leads to overthinking, self-doubt, and fear. The mind exaggerates challenges, creating reasons to postpone. Action, however, reduces uncertainty. By starting now, you begin to learn what works, what doesn't, and what adjustments are needed. Each action builds confidence and removes mental barriers that procrastination tends to amplify. Starting today also leverages the compounding effect of consistent effort. The sooner you begin, the more time you give your actions to grow, develop, and produce results. Each day you delay is a day of lost momentum. Think about someone who begins exercising, learning a skill, or working on a project immediately versus someone who waits. The early starter gains months, or even years of progress over the person who waits for perfect conditions. Over time, these small differences accumulate into significant advantages. Action today creates a snowball of progress that accelerates as you continue, while delay only creates stagnation. Another important aspect of starting today is mindset. When you take immediate action, you shift from a passive to an active state. You stop waiting for permission, motivation, or ideal circumstances, and you begin to trust yourself and your ability to handle challenges. Action reinforces self-discipline and reduces fear. It proves that you can move forward even when conditions aren't perfect, and this creates resilience. Each step taken today strengthens the belief that you are capable, resourceful, and in control of your destiny. Starting today also teaches accountability. By acting now, you take responsibility for your life instead of blaming circumstances, time, or external factors. You recognize that progress is the result of your choices, not luck or waiting for the perfect alignment of events. Accountability empowers you to make better decisions, prioritize what matters, and focus on consistent execution. Action today is proof that you are willing to invest in your future, rather than postpone it indefinitely. Even small actions started today can lead to exponential change. Writing a page, making a call, sending a message, practicing a skill, or taking a single step toward a goal immediately begins a chain reaction of progress. Each day adds to the momentum, and before long, what once seemed daunting or impossible becomes achievable. The key is to stop waiting, stop hesitating, and embrace the power of starting now. No matter how small the first step may seem, commitment is one of the most powerful forces in achieving any goal, yet it is also one of the most challenging to maintain. Many people start with enthusiasm, energy, and excitement, but when obstacles appear, progress slows, and difficulty arises, they begin to waver. The truth is that true growth and transformation do not happen during the easy moments. They happen when life feels hard, when motivation fades, when distractions multiply, and when giving up seems easier than continuing. Commitment is what separates those who reach their dreams from those who merely hope for them. Committing even when it's hard means taking responsibility for your goals, showing up consistently, and pushing through resistance, fear, or discomfort. Life has a way of testing our dedication. Challenges, setbacks, and unexpected obstacles are inevitable. Without commitment, these obstacles become excuses to quit. But when you commit, difficulty becomes part of the process rather than a reason to stop. The act of showing up, even when it's hard, strengthens your discipline and builds resilience. Every time you push through a challenging day, a moment of doubt, or a period of discomfort, you reinforce the belief that your goals are worth the struggle. Commitment turns obstacles into stepping stones, proving that progress is not about avoiding difficulty, but about facing it head-on. Committing even when it's hard also develops mental toughness. The mind will naturally look for shortcuts, comfort, and ease. It will try to avoid pain, risk, or inconvenience. This is normal, but it is also the reason why most people never achieve their full potential. True commitment is choosing action despite discomfort, fear, or fatigue. It is deciding that your goals, your growth, and your future matter more than temporary relief or convenience. Each time you act in the face of difficulty, you train your mind to be stronger, more focused, and more determined. The more often you do this, the easier it becomes to handle future challenges without losing momentum or giving in to self-doubt. Consistency in commitment compounds over time. When you choose to continue even when it's hard, you create habits of perseverance that influence every area of your life. These habits build momentum that carries you forward during times when motivation is low or circumstances are unfavorable. Commitment creates structure, discipline, and routine, which are far more powerful than relying on fleeting feelings of inspiration. It allows you to create results that would otherwise be impossible to achieve. Even small actions taken consistently during difficult times produce exponential growth when combined over months and years. Committing when it's hard also strengthens your sense of purpose. Difficult moments force you to clarify why your goals matter, what you are willing to sacrifice, and what you are truly aiming to achieve. They help you identify the values, priorities, and intentions that guide your actions. The harder the moment, the more clarity you gain about what is essential, what is temporary, and what is worth fighting for. This clarity fuels further commitment, creating a cycle of focus and progress that propels you forward, even in the most challenging circumstances. Another key aspect of commitment is that it inspires confidence and self-trust. Each time you follow through when it's hard, you prove to yourself that you are capable, reliable, and resilient. You develop the confidence that no matter what challenges arise, you can handle them. This self-trust becomes a foundation for further growth, risk-taking, and achievement. When you know that you will act even under pressure, that you will not give up when things get tough, you unlock a level of freedom and empowerment that is unavailable to those who rely solely on convenience or comfort. Committing even when it's hard also creates long-term results that surpass short-term convenience. Most people quit because results don't appear immediately, because progress feels slow, or because the effort is uncomfortable. But the reality is that true transformation requires pushing through discomfort, facing challenges consistently, and acting with determination even when conditions are not ideal. Each step taken during difficult times compounds into lasting impact, shaping skills, habits, mindset, and outcomes in ways that are impossible to achieve without enduring the struggle. Habits are the building blocks of our lives, yet many people underestimate their power. We often think that change requires massive effort, dramatic decisions, or extraordinary talent. In reality, one habit, practiced consistently, can have a profound impact on both your confidence and your results. This habit acts as the foundation for success, shaping the way you think, act, and perceive yourself. It influences your mindset, your productivity, and the outcomes you achieve. When you commit to a single positive habit, it becomes a catalyst for growth, a lens through which every other action is filtered, and a source of self-belief that strengthens with repetition. The impact of one habit begins with the mind. When you consistently engage in a positive action, your brain starts to associate that behavior with competence, capability, and control. Each repetition reinforces neural pathways, making the behavior easier and more automatic over time. This process builds confidence because you start to trust yourself and your ability to follow through. The more you see yourself taking consistent action, the more you internalize the belief that you are someone who can achieve their goals. Confidence is not just a feeling, it is a product of repeated, deliberate action. One habit, practiced regularly, becomes evidence that you are reliable, disciplined, and capable of growth. Results are also a natural consequence of this one habit. Every positive habit, no matter how small, sets off a chain reaction of outcomes. Writing daily, exercising consistently, saving money, or dedicating time to a skill may seem insignificant at first, but the cumulative effect over time produces measurable progress. The habit creates momentum. Each small success builds upon the previous one, compounding into meaningful results that transform your life. When you focus on one habit, it creates clarity and structure in your actions, making your efforts more effective and directed. You no longer rely on random bursts of energy or fleeting motivation. Instead, your results are driven by the consistent alignment of your actions with your goals. The habit also shapes your decision-making. Once you commit to a habit, it becomes a standard by which you measure your choices. You start to ask yourself whether a particular action supports or hinders your commitment. This conscious awareness strengthens discipline, focus, and self-control. It filters distractions, reduces wasted time, and aligns your daily behavior with long-term objectives. The habit transforms not just what you do, but how you think about challenges, opportunities, and setbacks. You begin to see yourself as someone capable of consistent effort, someone who can handle difficulty without losing direction, and someone who creates results through intentional action rather than chance. Another powerful effect of one habit is its influence on resilience. Life is full of obstacles, unexpected changes, and moments of doubt. When you have a reliable habit, it becomes a stabilizing force that helps you navigate uncertainty. Even when motivation is low or circumstances are challenging, the habit keeps you moving forward. Each time you follow through, you reinforce your capacity to endure discomfort and maintain focus. This resilience strengthens your confidence further because you know that no matter what happens, you can rely on yourself to take consistent action. The habit also inspires growth beyond itself. Often, adopting one positive habit naturally encourages other beneficial behaviors. For example, someone who develops the habit of daily exercise may also start eating healthier, managing time better, or focusing more effectively on their work. Habits are interconnected. One strong, consistent habit creates a ripple effect that shapes multiple areas of life. It becomes a lever that magnifies your effort, accelerates progress, and reinforces your identity as a capable, disciplined, and confident individual. By committing to a single, powerful habit, you create a feedback loop of growth. The habit builds confidence, confidence fuels further action, and action produces results. The more you engage in the habit, the stronger the loop becomes, shaping not only your achievements, but your sense of self. It becomes a defining force in your life, influencing your mindset, your choices, and your ability to create meaningful change. Every life is a collection of choices, and the way we live is shaped not by single dramatic events, but by the persistent decisions we make day after day. It is easy to underestimate the power of choice, especially when individual decisions seem small or inconsequential. Skipping a workout, delaying a task, or choosing comfort over challenge may feel insignificant at the moment, but the accumulation of repeated choices creates the trajectory of your life. Persistent choices compound over time, and it is this consistent decision making that determines whether you move toward growth, opportunity, and success, or stagnation, regret, and mediocrity. Transformation does not happen overnight. It does not occur through a single moment of inspiration or a one-time act of willpower. Real transformation comes when you commit to making intentional choices consistently, even when the results are not immediately visible. Choosing to show up, to take action, to persist, and to prioritize your goals every day forms a pattern that gradually reshapes your reality. Each choice, no matter how small, is a seed that, when nurtured over time, grows into habits, results, and a new identity. Your life becomes a reflection of the decisions you have made consistently, and persistent choices allow you to intentionally steer your life in the direction you desire. One of the most important aspects of persistent choices is the development of self-discipline. Discipline is not something you are born with, it is cultivated through repeated action and commitment. Each decision to act, even when it is difficult, reinforces your ability to control impulses, resist distractions, and stay focused on what matters most. This self-discipline strengthens over time, and with it comes the confidence to tackle increasingly challenging goals. When you make deliberate choices every day, you train your mind to value long-term growth over short-term comfort. You begin to see that persistence, not perfection, drives transformation, and that the accumulation of small, intentional decisions is what separates those who achieve their dreams from those who merely hope for them. Persistent choices also shape your mindset. Every decision you make sends a message to yourself about what you value, what you are capable of, and what you are willing to commit to. Choosing action over hesitation, growth over stagnation, and effort over excuses reinforces a mindset of empowerment and responsibility. Over time, this mindset becomes internalized, influencing how you approach challenges, opportunities, and setbacks. Your thinking begins to align with your goals, your decisions become more intentional, and your ability to create results becomes stronger. The more consistent your choices, the more your identity evolves to match the life you want to live. Another critical effect of persistent choices is the creation of momentum. Just as physical effort compounds to produce strength, repeated decisions compound to produce progress. Each choice builds on the last, gradually creating a force that propels you forward. Even when results are not immediately visible, the momentum of consistent, intentional decisions accumulates, and over time, it produces exponential growth. This momentum allows you to navigate challenges with greater ease, adapt to unexpected circumstances, and maintain focus when motivation wanes. Persistent choices also influence the environment around you. When you consistently make decisions aligned with your goals, others notice your dedication, reliability, and progress. Your actions inspire trust and respect, and your consistency creates opportunities that might not have existed otherwise. By committing to deliberate choices, you shape not only your life, but also the network of support, influence, and possibilities that surround you. Ultimately, transformation occurs when you recognize that your life is the result of countless repeated decisions. By making choices that support growth, progress, and personal development every day, you harness the power to shape your destiny. The life you want is created through deliberate, persistent action, and the path to success is paved by the small, intentional choices that accumulate into lasting impact. Each decision is an investment in your future, and the persistent application of this principle allows you to steadily transform every aspect of your life. Everything we've talked about today comes down to one simple truth. Your life is shaped not by fleeting moments of motivation, luck, or talent, but by the choices you make consistently, the actions you take every day, and the habits you commit to even when it's hard. Motivation will fade, challenges will appear, and obstacles will test your resolve. But when you show up, take small steps, start today, commit fully, cultivate the right habits, and persist through every challenge, transformation becomes inevitable. The life you dream of is not a distant fantasy. It is the natural outcome of repeated, deliberate action. Every choice, every habit, and every effort compounds, building momentum that carries you toward your goals. Confidence grows, results multiply, and your identity shifts to match the person who consistently chooses growth, discipline, and action over hesitation, doubt, and delay. So take control of your life today. Make the decisions, take the steps, and commit to the habits that align with your vision. Let consistency guide you, let persistence strengthen you, and let your choices transform you. The path is not always easy, but it is always worth it. Transformation is not a someday possibility. It is a reality that begins the moment you decide to take action every single day.